Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Robert Chappell, Executive Editor at Madison365 with your daily update for Wednesday, May 12th. It is a beautiful day and pretty good news today on the COVID front. More or less this week, coronavirus stats have held steady, right? Which is fine, right? Things are not getting rapidly better in terms of the spread of the virus. It's still happening. It's still happening more than we would like, but it's not getting worse. Right? That was my big fear a month or so ago, was that we're going to see variants. We're going to see people becoming complacent. That we're going to see people wanting to just be done with this whole quarantine thing, and that would lead to another surge the same way it did last summer, and we've not seen that yet, so that's good. In terms of numbers, just for today, we got 5,400 new tests today, new test results, I should say, of which 558 are positive, so about 10%, which is more or less in line with what we've been seeing. Yesterday, that percentage was slightly higher, but for the most part, we've been between like 9 and 12% each day on the new results. On the overall test results, we're still at 3.1% positive, meaning of all the tests in the past 7 days, including all the repeat tests, 3.1% of those have been positive. That's the third consecutive day at 3.1. Those 3 days follow 2 days at 3.2. So again, we're sort of hovering right above 3.0. 3.0 is still the goal, right? Public health people will tell you if you are below 3.0 on the positive test rate, that means you've got the thing more or less under control. You're testing enough. You're able to catch enough cases to isolate them, do the contact tracing, all that stuff. So 3.1 to be steady, just above 3.0 is, again, fine. Like it's not great. We're still in a pandemic. We're not done. It's not over. We still have people dying. We're still reporting 18 fatalities today. We still have, 29 more people hospitalized today. So it's not over yet, but it's also not getting worse. What's going to make it better is vaccines and getting more people vaccinated. And that is where the news isn't so great. It's, again, not terrible. We're averaging today 25,000 vaccine shots per day, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot. A month ago, that was 64,000 a day. So basically, everybody who is like really willing and eager to get it has gotten it, right? We're not running out of people to get vaccinated. We still have well over 2 million people who have not even gotten a single shot. Okay. Which is, fine. It's up to you. It's your decision. But every person who gets vaccinated is one tiny portion of a percentage toward that goal to get to 80% of us vaccinated. Right now, we are at 38% fully vaccinated in the state of Wisconsin. 44.6% of us have gotten at least one shot. So we should start seeing, in the next couple of weeks, we'll see that these levels of vaccines should begin to have an impact on the spread numbers, and the spreading numbers, the 3.1% positive test rate, the 558 new cases a day, should start to turn downward a little bit as a result of vaccine uptake, right? We're not going to finish this thing off until we get to 80%, probably. Now, here in Dane County, we're at almost 51% complete, well ahead of the state's 38%. We're at 61.6% of us in Dane County have gotten one shot. Dane County is a very privileged community, right? A lot of people do have barriers, and we're going to talk about that more in a minute. But you compare that to Milwaukee County, where only 35.5% have completed, 15 percentage points behind Dane County, and 42.4% have gotten one shot. And this is not an indictment of Milwaukee County. This is not saying Milwaukee County people are anti-vaxxers or anything like that. It's not. That's not it. It's people. The Milwaukee has neighborhoods and communities that have significant barriers to vaccine participation, and the Milwaukee City of Milwaukee's health department is working with the county executive's office to sort of overcome some of those barriers. Now, we also know that there are people in Dane County that face some of those same barriers. We know there are people in Dane County who are hesitant for any number of reasons. So to help overcome that, the reason our update today is a little bit early is that we are hosting at 4:00 today a vaccine awareness town hall. You don't need to take it from me, right? I don't know, I'm a journalist. I'm not going to lie to you. But when I tell you the vaccine is safe and effective, I'm just expecting you to kind of believe me. I don't have the expertise or knowledge to back that up necessarily. So the Boys and Girls Club has convened an expert panel. Vice President of UW Health, the state's chief medical officer, Dr. Jasmine Zapata, so a couple of the doctors, an emergency room doctor, Nestor Rodriguez, is going to moderate this thing. And you can ask them the questions, and they'll tell you exactly how this thing works, why you should get it, what to expect when you get it. And then you can make a decision for yourself and for your family based on that information. So tune back in here to our Facebook feed at 4:00 to watch that. So you can put questions in the Facebook comments, and then that'll remain on our website. So even if you miss it live, you can still watch it later and hopefully have some of your questions answered. So as soon as we're done here, just watch our Facebook feed. That'll come back, and that's the Boys and Girls Club is convening that. They got the people together, and then we are doing the video production and the broadcasting on our Facebook page. So we're happy to cooperate with the Boys and Girls Club on that. So today, for that, and that's another reason. The other thing that happens is our daily update today is it'll be slightly bit shorter, so that I can hop off here, and because I'm going to be kind of working behind the scenes on that thing at 4:00. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back right after this word from UW Health. We got lots of local news and a little bit of national news as well here right after this word.
Here in the Midwest, community is important.
Having a healthcare system that's looking out for us,
that's actively addressing the racial disparities in healthcare is important.
When we can get good quality care, we can do more. We can achieve more.
We can be the kind of community we want to be, and that's really important.
UW Health. Remarkable medicine. Remarkable care.
All right. Thank you for sticking with us. A bit of news that we broke on this very show yesterday was that Brian Cheney Austin has been hired, named the new police chief in the city of Monona. That's him in the middle there. This photograph is courtesy of Our Lives magazine. We love Our Lives. Very good friends with them. And Monona, you might remember, has had a couple of incidents in the past year. There were 2 high-speed vehicle chases that ended in the death of black men. They had 2 officers entered a home without knocking and drew their weapons and pointed them at a black man who lived in the home. It was a problem, right? So that has prompted the city to do some reflection, to do some diversity and inclusion efforts. And Brian Cheney Austin is the new police chief to kind of help to lead that transformation of the police department. I talked to him after we got done with the update yesterday, and I've got that right up now, an article on that at Madison365.org. A lot of what he said is very interesting. His head seems to be, I don't know, and it's hard for me to say it's in the right place or not, but it seems to be. But he's the only black officer in that department. And he's going to be leading a department of all white officers who are not going to be asked to do things differently. So it's a challenge, but he seems really excited and ready to hit the ground running. He has been a Madison police officer for 19 years. He's a captain. He runs the traffic division as well as the special services division, which is forensic services, the crime scene investigators, as well as security and policing for major events like Freak Fest, Art Fair on the Square, that kind of thing. Just a ton of experience. And we'll be headed over to Monona probably early June to start that new chapter. So that article again is up at Madison365.org. Also today we have a recap of the State of the Tribes address. This is the president of the Lac du Flambeau Band of Lake Superior Chippewa, John D. Johnson Sr. He spoke in front of the State Assembly yesterday. This is the 17th annual State of the Tribes address. He talked about healthcare and the issues that the indigenous people here in Wisconsin have had with COVID, and as well as the opioid crisis and increase in overdoses during the pandemic and all those things that have been dealt with. Talked about misperceptions of casino revenue. That people think, people sometimes have problems with the fact that Native Americans can operate casinos and the rest of us can't. But they don't have, they're sovereign nations, but they don't have taxes really. So that's how they make their money to provide services to their citizens, right? And he said a few other things. One of the other interesting notes that he had was that a lot of people are worried right now about cancel culture. But he made the point that we being the indigenous people of Wisconsin, have survived the ultimate cancel culture. Like they had their entire culture canceled at one point, and we're just now finally allowing them to live that culture fully. So it seems like an interesting speech. Our reporter Angelica Usiri was watching and recapped that for us. So we've got that up again at Madison365.org. Also last night, Dr. Sarah G in the middle there. She's the chief operating officer of the Boys and Girls Club. We had a vaccine awareness walk around the Capitol. We did 4 laps around the Capitol, one for each of the goals to raise vaccine awareness, to address concerns, to combat misinformation, and to encourage an informed decision on whether to get vaccinated or not. And we had about a dozen people show up and made a good show of it. And again, also, letting people know about this vaccine town hall that's coming up at 4:00 today. Turning now to national news, Felicia Rashad has been named the Dean of the Performing Arts School at Howard University. This is a fine arts program or fine arts school that is being sort of re-established. She is a Howard alum. She graduated from that historically black university in 1970. She's now 72 years old. She's been a guest lecturer and an adjunct member of the faculty there, and has now been named the dean of that college. So we've got that report from CNN up at Madison365.org right now. That is the news for today. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Hope you're able to get outside if you can, and enjoy yourself. And if you value that news, you value this program, consider giving us a donation. We are a nonprofit newsroom. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. If you go to Madison365.org/donate, a couple of clicks, you can make a donation. And we appreciate it. We invest all of that money back into the work, into the journalism, to pay our professional journalists, to keep the site up and running, and to keep it free for everyone. So appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the It's Only 10 Minutes podcast. And I'll be back tomorrow at 4:00 with not 4:00. So because tomorrow at 4:00, we have a youth vaccine town hall. So the update will once again tomorrow be a bit early, probably about 3:00. So we will see you then. Have a wonderful evening.
This is 365 Media.